Pick4Life, and we're here with another Iron Factory release. They're just like spitting these out before Chinese New Year's. New Year, not New Year's, I guess. But I wanted to go ahead and start with packaging review. As always, Iron Factory has their nice little window box images of Phantom. This is IF EX-37 Phantom or Mirage, kind of a G1 Mirage, as we'll see. In the front, on the side, and this side and top, just some various images, and on the back we have a lot of other product images showcasing his posability as well as his alt mode. And then right down here you'll see he has an optional head, which is kind of a G1 toy head, and we'll get into that in just a bit. But yeah, out of packaging, no tape on these as usual. He does come in the classic Iron Factory clamshell. With the top, you can just pull him out just like this. He does come with a bit of accessories. So he has his gun, and then he has his shoulder-mounted cannon, and then the option head that we were talking about. Oh, there we go. So starting out with the main body, you can see he is a kind of G1-esque. I mean, he does have the numbers, the racing numbers, and the branding and stuff like that. Let's do a quick 360. The back of this guy actually reminds me a lot of Classics Mirage, the way that the wheels sit back here and the kind of the spoiler piece really evokes kind of that feeling. Yeah, so quite nice. Let's go ahead and do a quick look at this head sculpt. You see, he does have his nice G1 blue eyes. I point that out from the cartoon. I point that out because he also has blue eyes on the toy head, which is odd because the toys always had yellow eyes. So I don't know why they just had to do that, or if that was just an oversight on their part. But a little disappointing, especially because it's all blue. His whole face, cheeks and nose and forehead are blue, so you can barely tell. It is painted. It's a slightly lighter blue paint. But if it were me and if I were a toy fan, I'd probably be disappointed with this and want to paint that yellow. It's pretty easy to get the head off. I did just loosen it. You can just pop it off, but just to be safe, you can unscrew it with a small Phillips head, pop it off fairly easily. I say that, and of course it's going to be way harder. Yeah, pop that off. You can pop this one back on. But again, I prefer the G1 head since I was never really a G1 toy collector. I mean, I was, but not that hardcore. I really fell in love with Transformers through the cartoon. So we're going to keep that on. The shoulder-mounted cannon, you can see here, is just nicely detailed. For such a small figure, it does have a little hinge, and it has a mounting port that goes to his right shoulder only, like so. And you can pivot around. Oh. You can pivot around or angle up. His cannon, actually, sorry about that, that came like this. You can plug into either of his fists, like so. Oh. Get some dynamic posing. One thing I will say is this little part up here has paint scrape, and the reason why is that when we go into alt mode, you'll actually mount this on here, and the tolerances, as expected with Iron Factory, are pretty tight. So mine already scraped off just from like 2 transformations. So just be careful about that. Speaking of which, before we go into transformation, let's make sure that we do some quick comparisons. Here he is with their Optimus. So a considerably smaller bot than their Optimus. Here's the Megatron, which I did the terrible live stream for, or at least YouTube made it a terrible live stream due to its slow bitrate. And then here he is with another Carbot, and you can see he's about the same size as their Jazz. Going to articulation, he does have a ball jointed head, so he gets a lot of great motion. He has his shoulders mounted on the ball joint. You do get some interference with the wheels back here, which are rubber. They're actually rubberized, not just plastic, which is I think the first, at least that I can tell from, or that I can recall from a Legend scale figure. Arms can go out like that. But you can kind of like move these out of the way if you want to go back, but it kind of breaks up the look. It does have a swivel there, an elbow joint. No wrist articulation except that you can go inside for transformation purposes, but no swivel. It does have a 360 waist swivel, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, knee bend, pretty nice and deep. And his ankles are also on like a hinge, and the toes are on a ball joint. So you can get some ankle tilts, or at least toe tilts going on. The other thing I would say is, as far as an optional look, these don't really particularly hide that well. I guess they do make it into kind of heels, but it doesn't really need it. And for transformation, you flip it out anyway. I don't know. I kind of like the wheels out. Maybe they do stick out too far, but I kind of like the look of that more than this. I guess this is. Oops, sorry about that, Phantom. It is a bit of a cleaner look, but it's up to you. All right. These flaps can go up and down like that, so if you need to, but that's about it. The only last thing I'll say about optional looks is they seem to have these, with the front spoiler. In the images, they have them always kind of facing like this, with these pointing up. I don't know why you would do that instead of having the other side. I think it looks kind of ridiculous. So even for the official instruction manual, I'm going to show it not like that. I'm going to show it like this. And that way, and they're not even symmetrical. So they look kind of ridiculous. So I don't know why they wouldn't just show it this way, angled in some way that you prefer. But I prefer that look. So I'm going to say that's going to be the official way, since it's going to be in the manual that way. All right. So let's get into transformation. Transformation of this guy is pretty simple, but pretty unique as well. The first thing we'll do is pull back on his translucent windshield. Turn the head around 180 degrees just to hide it. This screw is sticking out just a little bit. That's just because of I unscrewed it just to loosen it up. But you can screw that in a little bit tighter. You're going to lift these portions up. Lift the chest, and it's on an extending hinge, like so. You're going to want to bring this up and around. You're going to want to clear these pieces through here. Just be careful. Bring these down, like so. And you're going to have the head and neck position. This thing again is on double hinge. You kind of want to have it 90 degrees. And then you can close this up and flip these down. You want to get these blue pieces down behind the white chest piece. They tend to stick up a little bit, but go ahead and just push them down. For the front, you're going to want to rotate these wheels all the way back around. And well, you know what? Let's just leave this for here. The reason why I'm going to show you that it's a little bit easier to get the chest and arms taken care of. Well, not the chest, but the arms and the torso portion. You want to go ahead and open up these little white pieces. You'll see they form some tabs. The arms, you're going to flip in the fist. Rotate back on the elbow joint, like the opposite that would be anatomically correct. Rotate that around, you'll see this tab that tabs into the side of the alt mode. You're going to push this up on this hinge, the shoulder hinge. You're going to just rotate this in to the main body. Oops, sorry about that. And that tab will fit in right there. So same thing for the other side. Again, flip this up, get the fist down, rotate it backwards on the elbow, tap this in, swivel it up on that hinge, shoulder hinge, and then get it up and in like that, and that should tap in very securely. And like I said before, these pieces tend to want to ride up. Just push those down. All right, now with that out of the way, you can rotate the wheels in place. They sometimes interfere with the shoulders, so that's why I like doing that first. These do only rotate a certain direction, so just be careful. You can damage your figure if you force it too far. Usually there's a little stopper right here. So rotate these around, and then get the front spoiler. It's an over and under tab, like so. For the lower body, just rotate the waist 180 degrees. Flip out the wheels. You tab in right there. And then you have this kind of Combine Awards-ish leg design where it hinges down on itself. I'm gonna go ahead and get the two legs tabbed together to form the back half. There we go. And the spoiler, you can really do what you want. It is, again, an over and under tab, just like the front spoiler. There we go. Let's get a good tight squeeze there. And then because of how the hinges are, you can, pull the spoiler back and down a little bit. The legs themselves have little tabs on the sides that go into little slots on the arms. But with that, you basically have the figure in alt mode with some finagling of the spoiler. And like I said, nice wheels that roll, they're rubberized. And that gun that we took out before, I'm going to flip down the handle to reveal a peg. That's going to go right in here into the center. Like so. And it looks really nice. I like the slicks. It does look good from all angles, pretty clean. And the weaponry can swivel around on that peg. So I wasn't expecting this guy to come so soon. I would have thought they would have just sent it with a Megatron, since I just got that a couple days ago. But very cool to get another surprise package from Iron Factory. Alright, so let's go ahead and get them transformed back. I'm not going to do any comparisons in alt mode, because I don't keep my figures in alt mode. The only one, obviously, that I always have is Streak, Masterpiece Streak, which is not really a good comparison. He's a tiny little car. Alright, so let's go ahead and transform him back. The easiest way to do that is to first start off with the lower half, unpeg these sections here, extend the legs, and when you lock them into place, there's little nubs here that go into the black sections of the legs, so you might need to pull it out just a little bit. You'll hear them click into place. Separate the legs, get the toes kind of out like that. So just bring them out just a tad bit. Hide the wheels if that's how you like to display them. Rotate at the waist 180 degrees. All right, I'm going to deal with the upper portion first because the shoulders kind of get in the way sometimes or interfere with it. So let's go ahead and deal with this first. Get that over under tab down. I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to rotate the wheels this way. So it's going to be clockwise for this way and counterclockwise for this way. All the way in front of the spoiler. Again, the way I like to display is having the spoiler pieces this way. So you can just rotate them around to get them in the position you want. You can do this now or later. If you're already messing with the wheels, you might as well do that now. Again, bring this all the way back around like so until it reaches the stopping point. Like that. Now go ahead and deal with the arms. Pull those out. Those tabs that were right there. Untab the sides. Straighten out the elbows and the fists. There we go. Pretty simple stuff. Remember to close up these side pieces to form the, I guess, obliques. Get the shoulders down just a little bit. And then we're going to deal with the upper body. So once again, we'll kind of untab this section, pull this all the way back, these two blue parts in particular. Open up the front nose cone piece. Get these again cleared around the front of the car. And get this double hinge down, like so. Collapse the chest. And then swing down these little arms until they sit all the way back. Flip up the little windshield piece. And then turn the head around. Like so. Take your weapon. Pull down the handle. Very gently take this off as to not scrape off any more paint like I did. Mount it on the shoulders. Mount this on this fist. And you are good to go with your Mirage. And that's really it. Another tiny legend scale figure from Iron Factory who seems to be pumping these out. I'm obviously biased because I do their reviews, but I really like these figures. As far as final thoughts, definitely pick this guy up. I think he's one of the more fun ones. It's a new mold, especially for a car, and everyone seems to like Mirage. So I would recommend picking him up. Obviously, Toy Dojo, my sponsor, I'll put the link in the description below so that you can pre-order from them. Thanks to Iron Factory for sending this over so I can do the official manual as well as do this review for you very quickly. If you have any questions or comments, always leave them below. What do you think of these Iron Factory figures and their kind of G1-esque look, kind of Cybertronian look, that mix? Have you liked what they've been putting out recently, like their Megatron with a set of options? Do you like their Tarn and their upcoming DJD? Or is there somebody else that you want them to tackle at the Legend scale? Let me know. I'll communicate that to them. Let your voice be heard. With that, that's all for today. I hope you have a good one.